How can we create a lasting impact on the world around us? We believe that sustainable, scalable, and successful businesses are the driving force behind long-term change. But we all think that that's why we're here. So what does this mean to Enactus Nottingham? We are sustainable. This year, our 167 members have generated over $200,000, and the futures of our enterprises are secure. With clear handover strategies, they will thrive long after they leave our portfolio. And our businesses are scalable. This year, our impact has grown from 4,500 to 37,000 in just 1 year. But what makes our businesses successful? Some say that making lots of money or having big numbers is the definition of success. For us, it is more than that. We define success by the life-changing stories we hear, the way our businesses transform lives. We are Enactus United Kingdom, and this is our ethos.
This ethos is at the heart of Recovered, a social enterprise in Nottingham providing affordable furniture to individuals in need. But can a business recycling old furniture genuinely transform lives? Can it provide someone with a stable job and financial security? Could it give a veteran comfort and stability? How can furniture enable a parent to keep custody of their children? Let us tell you how our furniture business successfully transforms lives. This is the story of Recovered.
Through our relationship with the local government in Nottingham, we found that over 400 items of reusable furniture are thrown into landfill every week in Nottingham alone. This environmental cost translates into an economic one too. Collection and disposal of waste furniture costs our local government a staggering $1 million every year.
We also came to understand the social devastation caused by unfurnished homes. By conducting another thorough needs assessment with the Friary, a local drop-in centre for vulnerable adults, we found that 100% of those asked needed an affordable source of furniture.
Think about it. Furniture is essential in making a house a home, a place where some of our most treasured memories are born. Sitting on the sofa watching the game with your mates, big dinners around the table with all the family, reading your child their favourite bedtime story. But these are memories that many public housing tenants are denied. Public houses, by law, must be stripped before new tenants arrive. This was the case for Mike. He returns to his house, but it isn't a home. No table, no sofa, no bed for him and his children. Nothing. Because he cannot afford to furnish his home, Mike and his children sit, eat, and sleep on the floor.
This is the reality for many living in the 45,000 public houses in Nottingham who cannot afford furniture, who cannot afford to make their house a home.
3 clear problems.
Environmental, the damage caused by unnecessary furniture waste.
Economic, the high cost to both governments and tenants.
Social, the poor quality of life caused by unfurnished homes.
We had to take action.
To tackle these issues, we developed a unique 3-step business model. First, collection. The local government advertises our free furniture collections to the public. Our service means they collect less, reducing the strain on their resources, whilst giving us access to a truly sustainable supply. Our employee then collects these items with our van and takes them to our very own warehouse. In this 14,000 square foot space, we're able to keep upwards of 400 items of furniture.
Second, refurbishment. The furniture is refurbished to a high standard by our workers and undergoes safety and quality assurance checks. From there, it is displayed in our showroom.
Third, sales. To sell business to consumer, we partnered with the 4 largest public housing associations in Nottingham and 10 more community help organisations. Through these sales partners, we offer a 50% discount voucher to public housing tenants in need. Customers then choose the items they want. They can buy a bed for $40 and furnish the rest of the room for under $100.
Once sold, we deliver to customers. We are proud to say we have a 100% satisfaction rate on our 560 sold items. As our company grew, we introduced a new revenue stream, business to business. We supply furniture to charity shops for them to independently price and sell. This increases our revenue, allowing higher subsidies for public housing tenants in need. We also sell furniture directly to public housing associations. For a small proportion of customers, even $40 is too much for a bed. To reach these people, public housing associations pay us directly to furnish tenants' homes in these severe cases.
But how is Recovered sustainable and scalable? Since February 2016, we've had an average weekly revenue of $600 against an average weekly cost of $550, with a total revenue exceeding $30,000 just 12 months after our first sale. Recovered is financially sustainable.
And the demand is nationwide. Other regional governments have expressed an interest to introduce Recovered.
Beyond this, we're expanding into electrical appliances, a new credit option, and are in talks with the University of Nottingham to refurbish all office furniture.
So, how is our sustainable and scalable business driving long-term change? Every step of our business model is fundamentally impactful. By collecting furniture destined for landfill, we have prevented over 800 tonnes of CO2 emissions, equivalent to driving a car over 100 times around the world. Every year, the local government spends over $1 million on the collection, crushing and disposal of waste furniture. In our first year, we are proud to say we've already saved the government an estimated $115,000.
But who runs these operations? Let me introduce you to John. John is a public housing tenant and before joining us was facing bankruptcy, long-term unemployment and social isolation.
But no longer. As our operations manager, he collects, refurbishes, sells, and makes strategic decisions on a daily basis. Recovered has given him financial security, allowing him to pay off his debts and even save for the car he's always wanted. A man truly empowered, John has been able to take his life into his own hands.
What the Recovered's done right then is put me back on my feet. It's brought all my debts up to date. Last year, if I weren't working for you, they would have continued to grow all the time. So I wouldn't have paid anything. I would have been on the dole until I retired, which has been no good for me. I've always wanted to work. You've given me the chance, and that I've got to thank you for.
John is just one of the 16 people who have worked with us this year. By providing training in business, accounting and refurbishment, each one of our beneficiaries have been empowered to take control of their own lives.
But it doesn't end there. This year, Recovered has saved over $82,000 for 158 families. But what does providing affordable furniture mean for the individual? Here is Richard, a veteran and public housing tenant, explaining what it means to him.
This has made a big difference to me. And financially, I could not afford to do it. So for me, this was an absolute godsend.
From new parents to veterans, Recovered has transformed lives. But there is one story that will stay with me forever. A customer came into the warehouse one day and bought a bed for $40. When leaving, he turned and thanked me. Unable to afford a bed anywhere else, his 2 children had been sleeping on the floor. Child services were threatening to take his boys away from him. Remember Mike, this is his story. He thanked me for keeping his family together.
Recovered's real success are these stories.
By creating a business capable of breaking even week on week, just 12 months after our first sale, we have built a platform to foster long-term change in our community.
Diverting over 800 tonnes of CO2 emissions.
Empowering 16 individuals.
Saving our local government over $115,000.
Saving public housing tenants over $82,000.
And improving the lives of 158 families. Where others saw waste, we saw an opportunity to make a house a home.
This belief in the power of business is reflected in our international portfolio. This is an example of how entrepreneurial action transforms lives globally. This is Aqua.
Today, 663 million people still lack the most basic need of all. The impact of waterborne diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid is shocking. And that's if they're lucky. Over 3.4 million people die each year because of easily preventable diseases.
But what if we told you that the way to save those lives We'll also allow children to go to school, to enable adults to secure stable jobs, and to save families and communities money. Aqua began when a charity called Reignite told us about the dire water situation in Bambui, Cameroon. We travelled there to construct a needs assessment, which identified the two key problems surrounding clean water access. First, after carrying out tests with an internationally accredited laboratory, the local water sources proved unsafe for human consumption. And second, the only source of clean drinking water was unaffordable bottled water. To drink the daily recommended amount costs 300% above the average household income. This is equivalent to the average Canadian family spending $625 on water a day.
People are forced to drink dirty water, and as a result, an astonishing 12,500 people in Bambui suffer from waterborne diseases such as cholera, dysentery, and typhoid each year, the treatment of which cost the average family up to half their annual income. Even worse still, in 2014, 248 people lost their lives from dirty water. We needed to develop a solution.
Alongside the engineering department at the University of Nottingham, we designed our own biosand filtration system. To establish the quality of our filtered water, we performed a wide range of tests with GSK and Science for Life.
Success! Aqua's filtered water exceeded EU standards for safe drinking water. Here is a scaled-down model to demonstrate how it works.
Our filters utilise a timeless scientific process. The dirty water first passes through a thin biological layer which consumes pathogens. Next, the water filters through a layer of fine sand, trapping any physical contaminants and larger pathogens. The final two layers consist of small and large gravel, keeping the flow of water consistent by stopping sand from clogging the outlet.
And like magic, the dirty water has been fully filtered, giving a refreshing and, most importantly, safe glass of water. Cheers.
So, how are we using this technology to transform lives? We hire people through our Project Partners Bio, a local organisation for unemployed youths, to build filters at our factory. They also act as sales agents for our two revenue streams. First, business to government. We work with governments to implement our technology on a large scale. The water is filtered at source and flows through the existing pipeline network. This ensures that water is clean from every tap in the community.
However, not everyone had access to these taps. This meant that a small proportion of people were still forced to drink unclean water. To ensure that everyone has access, the government buy our filters to place in these remote locations. We charge them for the purchase and maintenance of these Aqua filters.
Through this model, the 22,000 people of Bambui now have access to clean, safe water for free for the first time in their lives. We then saw an opportunity to widen our impact and introduce a second revenue stream, business to business. Our employees sell our filters to institutions and charge an annual maintenance fee. Through this, our revenue increases exponentially. By implementing our filters in 2 universities, 12,000 students now have free access to our safe drinking water.
But how is our business sustainable and scalable? In order to cover all our costs, we need to sell 1 filter per month. Since April this year, we have sold 7 filters and project that by December we will have sold 15. And our future is bright. We are expanding our current model by holding talks with 2 neighbouring governments, as well as multiple prisons, universities and hospitals, all with a combined population of 422,000 people.
But how has Aqua transformed lives? This year, our business has allowed us to train and empower the lives of 47 individuals. They receive training for construction, market research, impact measurement, alongside general business skills. Just one example is our manager, Didion. Before joining us, he was struggling financially and had limited opportunities due to lack of skills and education. But take a look at him now.
Before I was being made the Aqua manager, I think I was barely living, like struggling in life. This business has changed in my life and that of my family, not to talk of that of the community. Even if our members back there in UK leave this company that no, they want to continue with this, that idea can never die because they have impacted more in me.
The definition of empowered. Didion has become our representative to government officials and even independently initiating sales to businesses. And it is through our employee sales that Aqua achieves its greatest success. This year, Aqua has made water not just accessible, but free for 34,000 people in Cameroon. But what does providing safe water mean for the individual? Here is Romanos telling us what access to our safe water means to his family in Bamburi.
Small baby you saw there, since they gave birth, that's the water she could drink. Since I started using this filter, none of my children has had any problem with waterborne diseases. None of my children, not myself. The fact that I don't spend money to buy water, that's an impact. I use the money now for other things.
Romanos is just one of 34,000 stories of life transformation. This year, by providing clean, accessible water in Bamburi, Aqua has eradicated cholera, dysentery and typhoid.
This means that children can get an education, parents can go to work, and families can live healthier lives. On top of this, we are saving families half their annual household income that they would normally spend on medical fees.
This community transformation is reinforced by our impact lifting. Over the last 3 years, we've collected hospital data in Bamburi. This data tells a story of its own. Since Aqua's full implementation, no one has died from waterborne illnesses. How can we create a lasting impact on the world around us? Business, sustainable, scalable, successful.
I would now like to invite...
All right, thank you. We will now begin the 5-minute Q&A session. Only judges may ask questions. Please stand up and speak loudly with your question. Yes.
Amazing job. I have a 2 question regards to your recovered project. The first is, can you tell us a little bit how much is the operating cost of the van and your storage and the 16 hired person? And the second question is, do you have any safety or sanitary standards for your refurbished furniture? Thank you.
I'll answer the first part of your question, then I'll hand over to Ellie to answer the second part of your question. Our van, since we bought our van, our costs have reduced by about $150. It currently only costs us $50 each week for the rent and repairs of our van. And over to Ellie for the second part of our question.
With regards to the safety and quality assurance checks, this can be told in 3 parts. First of all, we don't accept anything without a fire safety label. As well as this, we have a form which all the people which give us furniture complete, which tells us things such as if they smoke, do they have any pets for allergies and things. And finally, John has been empowered to take out quality assurance checks. So whenever we get furniture in, he assesses whether we will be able to refurbish and sell that on. No worries.
Could I ask, when did these 2 projects start and how much of the impacts you've presented relate to the current year?
So with regards to Aqua, I'll answer that question and I'll pass over to David to tell you a little bit more about Recovered. Aqua started in 2014 when we were approached by a charity called Reignite. Our business model, business government approach that we spoke about was implemented in June 2015 and the business to business was implemented in April.
Recovered started after we were approached by the government and spoke to the Friary about the dire social need for refurbished and cheap furniture. We started in March 2015.
In both of your projects, you talk about employing individuals. Are you the actual employer? Or if not, who is? And then what do you do to ensure a living wage?
So with regards to Aqua, I'll take that question and I'll pass you over to David again to talk about Recovered. With Aqua, we do employ them, and to make sure that they have the living wage, we've received very generous grant funding from the university. Also, now that we've been breaking even since April month on month, we're able to sustain ourselves, and by October we will be running a profit.
We currently have 1 employee, John, and we do employ him ourselves. We help him get a living wage by employing him for 16 hours per week, which is topped up by tax credits. We started our business using grant funding, and now we've been breaking even week on week since February 2016, which allows us to pay him a stable, secure job.
My question is regarding Recovered. What is the selection process in terms of the candidates that would be working for your projects?
So the selection process, we go through many of our project partners. So the Friary is our main partner, and they work with vulnerable adults themselves. So they highlight a few candidates, and they send them to us. We interview them with the Friary. 2 of their directors is actually on our board of directors as well, and together we conduct sort of an assessment centre with them, and we review their past skills and their past experiences to see whether they'll be suitable for the job.
So with regards to the workers in Aqua, we are partnered with our project partner Bio, the Bamboo Youth Organisation, and this is the pool where we get our workers from. They're all already trained and already literate with writing and speaking skills. We then empower them with business skills such as accounting and impact measurements. They carry out the work for us and communicate it back to us in the UK.
You talked about the importance of sustainable and scalable. What are the next steps going forward? Where do you go from here?
So I'll speak for Recovered and I'll pass on to Andy for, I'll speak for Aqua, sorry. Aqua's really exciting. I'm the project leader, and over the next year we're looking to expand in 3 areas, business to government, business to business, and also expand into Uganda. So business to government, we're in talks with 2 neighbouring governments, Bambili and Bamenda, with a combined population of 400,000. Our business to business approach, we're looking to secure 2 contracts in October, combined population of 22,000, a university and a prison. And our Uganda, we currently have a member actually out there in Uganda conducting a needs assessment to begin implementation in December.
With Recovered, we're really currently excited. We've just started a credit scheme so that people aren't taking payday loans out for furniture and things like that.